how impactful Ted, Owen, Van, all of us can be if we just take the time to let people know that they matter. One word, one sentence, one look can change somebody's life, because so many people feel like they're on an island. All they want is one person to say, I believe in you. And the world can change. Everything can change by just one person believing in you.
Welcome to the Kash and Dash Show, episode 324 with Van Deeb. So Van, when we look back to how long ago it was over 4 years ago. Episode 38 was last time we was the only one we did in front of a live studio audience.
Wow.
So only one.
Still to this day.
Still to this day. So great conversation.
Yeah, that was fun too.
And since we already interviewed you, we had to like dig up some new stuff on you.
Okay, great.
You know? So at the gym today, I started asking people if they knew Van Deeb. Ran into two people that knew you. Rob Trebelko,
Yeah.
which he told me to tell you hi.
Yeah.
And then
Cool
also
cat.
another guy, I just saw a Prime Realty shirt. And I'm like, hey, do you happen to know Van Deeb? And he's like, well, actually, we're business partners. And I was like, introduced myself. His name's Jeff.
Yep. Jeff Deal.
Jeff Deal?
Yes.
Oh, man. Like
Diehl. Jeff and Jess Deal.
Okay. And Jeff's like, yeah, we're business partners with Prime Realty. I'm like, perfect. You got any stories to tell? He's like, well, there's that one time in Vegas.
Oh, geez. Yeah, he went with me to Vegas.
And he said, I mean, there was lots of stories there, but he's like, just ask him how hard it was to go to sleep and where I end up going to bed.
Okay.
So,
you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's a huge Broncos fan. He lives here in Omaha, and he has season tickets to the Broncos.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of comp tickets to the Raiders-Broncos game. So who do I think of first? Jeff. So he went with me. We just flew out for, I think, a day and a half, it was a couple nights. And, we have the same room, and he's in his bed. I'm in mine. And
Owen will never do that, by the way. He'll never share a room with you, probably for this reason.
Okay. Well, I'm a real light sleeper. And
I am too.
Yeah. And Jeff I don't think they call it snoring. I felt like there was a pterodactyl in the room. And so I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm going, what the hell is this? And he goes, dude, I'm sorry. I got a real problem. I said, you should have told me that before we got a room. I would have got you another room.
Or a CPAP machine.
Well, yeah. Or something, or stuff to stick in your nose. But anyway, happened a couple times. So next morning he called his wife and I got on the phone. I said, Jess, I go, how do you handle this? And she goes, I know, it's horrible. Anyway, do our thing, go to the game.
Especially if you're drinking.
Right.
It gets always 10 times worse.
Exactly. Yes. And so that night we go to bed and I looked over at him and I said, I can't deal with that same stuff tonight. And he goes, okay, I'm good. I promise. And I said, okay. So I go to bed. I wake up and I wake up early, 4:35, just automatically. And I wake up and there's nobody in his bed. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, should he get up in the middle of the night and go
gambling?
Get another room or gambling, right? And he's not a gambler, so I knew he didn't do that. So I get up and I go look in the bathroom. He had brought all of the bedding off his bed, and he made a bed in the bathroom with the door closed so I wouldn't hear him snore. And I just thought,
what a guy!
I thought that is a cool cat.
That cool.
Cares deeply, and so that's the bulk of the story.
But where's the meat and potatoes in that story?
You know what? There's not like, where any I love yous or we got married or anything from Elvis. So there's nothing exciting about that.
Or The Hangover.
We won some tickets to a Raiders Tennessee game on December 20th. So we're gonna take the kids down there with us.
Yeah.
And
it's a great stadium.
Do a little Christmas trip. Yeah. We went there once. Who were they playing?
Weren't they playing the Broncos?
Yeah, it was the Broncos.
Yep.
Yeah,
well, maybe we were there at the same game.
Was it 2 years ago?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah, I swear to God.
Did Sammy Hagar play during halftime?
Yeah.
We were there.
That's crazy.
For his birthday.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And we did it like on a whim. We got there
we got
there in like the second quarter.
We were there with Colin too.
Okay.
Yeah, the three of us
I knew that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been funny if we had met up.
So we sat in the end zone. We were in one of the end zones.
We showed up on like quarter two.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. On a whim. Colin decided he wanted to go. So we're
we showed up on a tour bus with about 50 people that are all over 80.
Colin's like, I can get these passes down on the floor. I'm like, dude, it's second quarter and our plane leaves in 3 hours. Let's just take whatever tickets we can get.
Yeah, like it was so late, the scalpers had already given up. There was, it was man, that was a lot of fun though.
That was an
Small
epic
world,
trip.
man.
Yeah, if we would have ran into each other, then we'd be like, because we were like,
probably would have stayed an extra day.
no, I don't know if we.
I don't know if I could do another day there. That was a lot.
It was a fun-filled packed week.
Yeah.
We go there a lot for concerts, and my gal and I, she likes themes, so we went to see Cyndi Lauper about 2 months ago, and I had to wear. She tells me what to wear, not ask me, and so I wore a Cyndi Lauper pink shirt and a pink sport coat.
So you're a pretty sharp dresser. So
yeah,
it
so I did whatever
wasn't.
she said. And then we had Rod Stewart the month later. And of course, we land. And as we're approaching the gate, I get a call from Caesar saying that he's sick and he's canceled. So we're going back in August to do that one. But she bought me, and I was prepared to wear this, a real hair Rod Stewart wig. I will be wearing, I brought it with me. I mean, I'll be wearing
Brought it with you today?
No,
Oh, okay.
not today.
Yeah.
I even promised her I'd wear it to dinner because we go to dinner before the concert. I said, I'll wear that to dinner. So I have to do themes. And we've gone to see a Michael Jackson tribute, and she's already got me. She got me a glove, and I just do it. And I'm having and I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, which is what I tell people in real estate to do all the time.
Yeah.
Step out of your comfort zone and find out more about yourself. But I'm doing some crazy stuff.
This is funny because
I'll take pictures of me in that wig and send it to you.
Yeah, this is funny because I just had this conversation with my daughter the other day when I back in the day when I was doing Omaha nightlife.
Yeah.
I just want to go out to the bars and not be recognized by everybody. So I ended up having a ton of wigs.
Oh, jeez.
You have wigs?
I had wigs I'd put on back then. My friends would know. We go out and then because you go out dancing or you go out to the clubs, and then we were a big deal back then.
Yeah.
And so
big time.
you couldn't like go out and actually just drink and have fun. So I put these wigs on. And I become a new person. Put a whole persona on.
Oh my God.
Wow.
My daughter looked at me when she's like, he goes, you wear wigs?
Yeah.
I got nothing, guys. I can't.
Poor Owen.
Yeah, I know. I need to start wearing a wig though. I'm losing.
Well,
my
I'll
hair.
let you borrow my Rod
Okay,
Stewart wig.
perfect. I'll do a
bring it
little
over.
timeshare.
I'll bring it over.
This is like the first time I've seen you without Baxter. You're a puppy.
My dog is 7.5, and I've had him 7.5 years, and I am obsessed and in love, and I've never had a pet.
Yeah.
But this dog has stole my heart.
But you don't, where is he?
He's at home.
This is I don't think I've ever seen
No,
him.
because I didn't want to bring him. I brought him to my radio show and my podcast, but it takes me away from what I'm doing.
I'm pretty sure you had him with you at the last interview.
No, I didn't bring him
think so.
downtown.
No?
Okay.
I'm a big dog guy, so I would remember that.
Well, let me tell you something weird. Is so I became a dog owner, and I had no idea, what the responsibilities are, except you love and care. I didn't think they could be alone. So I was getting babysitters if I was going to the gym for an hour.
Oh, wow.
I would not leave them alone ever. I'd get a sitter, and I started telling my friends that, and they go, dude, dogs sleep 16 hours a day. They can be alone. And so I was like, it saves me some money. So now I just don't want them to be alone more than like 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's about the longest.
I tell you what, though, man, it's a whole thing to get like somebody that's qualified and you're fine with them coming to your house.
Yeah.
And as we have a trip coming up, and we've had to get on rover.com. That's kind of like,
That's what I did.
Yeah,
I'm using somebody now from there.
yep. And they're great. And they do background checks and all that stuff. And you can check references. And we've got 2 of them we found off of there that we'll kind of pick and who's available. And it's
And
great.
they
can
stay all
come to
night
your
at my house.
Yeah, they stay
because
there.
I don't want him leaving because he's a 12-pound Havanese.
Mhm.
And they're just love dogs.
Yep.
Lap dogs, lovers. And they just come and they stay. And I pay them a couple bucks extra not to leave.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. But it is great. And just having that peace of mind and be like, okay, the house is fine. The dog's fine.
Yeah.
And you it's weird though, because you bring them over and you got to kind of fill out the vibe. Like, is your dog comfortable? How are they, kind of reading between the lines?
And I'll tell you something too is, my friends at my age say, hey man, I love the way you are with your dog, and you seem like you're a changed person as far as this. And they're thinking about getting one. I discourage people if they travel.
Mm-hmm.
Because I used to travel, no kidding, once a week on speaking gigs and just all over the country. And now I'm limiting myself traveling just because I don't want to be without him. I mean, I had Union Pacific say, we want to have you come out and speak as our keynote speaker on our Wednesday farewell to everybody. It was a managers convention, but we'll send you out on Sunday and you can spa and golf and hang with everybody for 4 days before your speech. And I'm like, I would rather come out Tuesday night just for my speech. If I didn't have my dog, I would have gone on that Sunday. But so this is the type of example when you have something that you're emotionally attached to, it's challenging because you don't want to leave them alone.
Mm-hmm. We had a dog named Sprout. It was a little Brussels Griffin. There was a movie called As Good as It Gets with
I love it.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson.
I love that movie.
It was actually that dog in that movie was our dog's aunt. We found we did the whole
cool.
genealogy thing. It was a purebred,
Oh, wow.
And so Sprout, Brussels Griffin, Brussels Sprout.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we had that dog, and my wife is always like, you guys were codependent, because he went everywhere with me. Like I felt, and he would get super depressed when I wasn't home, and it's so hard when
Is he still with you?
No, he passed, or we ended up putting him down probably in 2018.
Yeah,
but I was like, I need a break. Like I can't, that was so hard.
Yeah.
And then we ended up getting, we have a Bernese Mountain Dog. We got him in. Yeah. We went the complete opposite way.
Yeah.
And so we have a Bernese Mountain Dog named Milo. We got, during COVID, and, he's great. But I was like, this is the classic thing though, because I've got 2 teenagers now and my wife really she kept sending me these reels of Bernese Mountain Dogs. And I'm like, what's going on here? She's just planting the seed. You're like, oh, just, they're really cool. And look at these dogs. And they are really cool, great personalities. And then finally she kind of was like, all right, I want a dog. And I'm like, look, I can't do what I did before with this dog. So this has to be your dog. And I'm in the background. And you walk him, and I don't want to pick up the yard. We're going to have the kids do that. And they're like, yes, we'll do that. We'll feed him. You won't have to do anything. Uh-huh. Guess who walks him every single morning? You. Yes. All the stuff. Yeah. And, and I just love dogs.
Yeah.
Anytime I go to a party, Jen's always embarrassed because if they have a dog at the house, I'm usually sitting over petting the dog. She's like, will you maybe talk to people? That would be helpful. So you don't seem like a weirdo sitting over there. And I'm like,
I know.
I am who I am.
I lost a relationship over it.
Really?
I was with a gal for 5 years, and I'm engaged now, and she loves my dog. But
congratulations!
Thank you. Yeah, getting married this year. I've been single for my whole life, but 2 years.
I've been seeing all your guys' posts.
I said I wasn't going to get married till I knew I was entering hospice, and but hopefully I'm beating that. But no, I fell in love big time with this gal about 4 years ago. But my past relationship, I show Baxter a lot of attention. And she said to me, she goes, sometimes I think you love Baxter more than me. And I just looked at her and I said, what's your point?
Yeah, long, awkward pause.
I was just being honest. I do love her, but yes, I love Baxter more than her.
You did write a book called Baxter, the First Dog at 59.
Yeah, I did. It's a great picture book. And she's in it.
Hey, I want to ask you something. You and I were talking a little bit before Ted got here.
Yeah.
Which is not abnormal.
Him showing up Ted late. Like 4 hours late?
Yeah, usually. But you and I were talking about fitness, working out, longevity, living until you're 100 is the goal.
Yeah.
When did that kind of come in your life? You look fantastic.
Oh, thanks. So do you. And we're talking about how good you look too. You take care of yourself.
Oh, well, thanks. But you're 66 years old.
Yeah.
And
I'll be 6'7".
Yeah, 6'7". God, that just will not die.
I won't let it die. Everybody else has.
But
at least for another year.
Yeah.
you look great. And I want to peel back a layer on that. When did your attention to fitness and longevity start? Do you remember? Was it when you were young?
I tell you, I've always been disciplined in working out from my college football days, but mostly I've always gone to the gym. I can't remember even in my wild days being out till 2 a.m. We had a group of guys. We met Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at Prairie Life back in the 90s and early 2000s. At 5 a.m., we played basketball. We just religiously, it doesn't matter what you did the night before. So I've always gone to the gym. But then as I got older, I realized, like I think I was telling you earlier, I lost 5 classmates from high school in this last year. And some of them just didn't take care of themselves. Another one was a freak accident. But I don't want to bust my tail my whole life and then the golden years be in and out of a doctor's office. Mm-hmm. So I want to be preventative. And so I know by doing a lot of core, by working out, by cardio, exercising, I'm going to avoid the doctor's office more than if I didn't. And I happen to be engaged to a doctor, and she's run 2 Ironmans. She's been in 2 Ironmans. She is a fitness fanatic.
Wow.
So that really helps. We're at the gym every morning at 5:30, except Sundays. She wants to go on Sundays. And I said, I need a day to sleep in. But so having a partner, and that was one of my goals. I've said, if I ever got married, these are the things that are important to me. One, you got to go to church with me. I don't want to beg you to go to church with me. And I don't want to beg my woman to go to the gym with me. And she's on both of those. That was one of her goals in meeting a guy that wanted to do that. So it's just part of our fabric. It's really helpful when you have an accountability partner. We eat really healthy. I rarely drink. I just don't. Just sugar and alcohol messes with me, and I can't sleep at night, so I just avoid it.
Yeah.
But once in a while I'll have some vodka sodas that won't keep me up. But so I just watch what I put in my body. My only issue is I think it's healthy, so I'm going to eat like a family-sized portion of it.
Right.
I overeat.
Yeah.
I overeat nonstop. It's good stuff, but you still can't do that.
Yeah. I know Ted and I were talking. We kind of have both been on this run lately where I've got a kid that's in softball and it's constant game. She was on 2 different JV teams, so JV2, JV1, and then varsity. So she made all 3.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's great. But, we're eating concession stand food. Or if you don't want to eat that, you're getting home at like 11 at night, and it's not good to eat then either.
No.
So we've had to kind of make choices about it's like the cream of the crap.
Yeah.
Whatever,
and like she works at a clinic. I mean, she's there till 7 at night. I said, I'm not eating that late.
Yeah.
Because we're going to bed at 9. We're in bed at 9, or try to be. If I'm working a real estate deal, I may be up till midnight. But we try to be in bed at 9. I just have always believed if you feel good, you're going to do good. And I'm going to be better to everybody around me. I mean, I used to go in my office. My staff could tell if I went to the gym that day.
Based on your mood.
They would literally be able to tell on my energy level if I did go to the gym that day.
Yeah, it just sets the tone for the entire day.
And here's the thing. I love people. And the people you meet, you see, at least in the mornings, and any time to go is great. But usually the people you see at 5 a.m. are driven. They're motivated. The conversations are going to be energy, So that's my happy hour, is going that early. Like this morning, we were there at 5:30 and saying hello to my friends. That's my happy hour.
I found that it's one of those things too, where your surroundings will kind of indicate what type of people are going to congregate there, right? So you go to your point, you go to the gym at 5 a.m. People could make the choice on sleeping in or doing something else in the morning and not getting out and doing that. But you have different conversations with those people too.
You do.
Because a lot of times people that maybe aren't, trying to max out their life and longevity and motivated stuff, they talk about people or issues, and
the conversations are very identical or very similar to what you want to talk about.
Yep. And when you're around the type of people we're talking about, it's more of like bigger ideas and goals and like, more blue sky stuff instead of just like petty people stuff, gossip. Those are, what I mean? Those kind of conversations, Netflix, that stuff's fun to talk about too, but it's like, you don't want to fill your entire set of conversations that way.
And you touched on that. My goal at this age in my life, in my 44th year in real estate, my number one goal is to elevate and raise the people around me. I want to help everybody I'm around get to where they want to go. In order to be that person, I got to feel pretty good myself. So if I don't feel good myself, how can I help other people feel good about themselves?
Do you remember the first time that somebody asked to pay you to speak?
Yeah, I do. It was a multi-level marketing company.
Okay.
Like 25 years ago. And I was scared to death.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, it was, 25 years ago, it'd be in the 80s. That's 40 some years ago.
Sure doesn't. I know, that is depressing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Your face right
I only
then.
thought I was 35.
I know, 1980 was 20 years ago as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I still can't believe it's 2026. I mean, I'm just grateful I'm still here. I was a wild ass. And so I'm just grateful the good Lord still keeps me around. But yeah, I've always been willing to speak for nonprofits and not charge. But my very first speaking gig was a multi-level marketing company, and sales are sales. And I think it was $200 what my first fee was.
Yeah.
But, I've learned a lot. It's, I wrote a book called The Power of Asking, and I'll just give you a quick anecdote of something that I used. I got a call from the Nebraska State DECA convention, and it's in Lincoln every year, and there's 3,000 people, kids from all over the state that are in business classes, and the teachers and sponsors and CEOs of large companies that are sponsoring this huge event at the Cornhusker Hotel in Lincoln. And I get a call in December, and they said, would you be available so-and-so date in March? Yeah, that all works out great. And she said, I don't know if you know, but we don't have a budget to pay a speaker. We had Tom Osborne last year. We had Governor so-and-so the year before. And we've never paid a fee. Well, I believe if we want something, we have to ask for it. Don't complain about it later. Gosh, I'm going to do this big gig. I'm not going to make a dime, and I got gas money to drive to Lincoln. And so you can't do that. You just got to ask for what you want. So I just threw it out there. I mean, I threw it out there. I said, well, gosh, ma'am, since you don't have a budget, then I'll just charge you my minimum. And there was a pause. And here I'm thinking, Van, you're the biggest idiot on the planet. You could be in front of 3,000 Nebraskans, get your name out there even more.
Yep.
So I'm like, are you sure you want to go with this? And she goes, so what's your minimum then? I said, you know what? It's Lincoln, 45-minute speech, $1,000. She goes, well, like I said, sir, we don't have a budget, but let me run it by my board. I said, great. So I hang up, and I'm kind of mad at myself, saying, you ungrateful,
you thought you blew it,
ungrateful idiot. You should have just said yes. So I'm just like, every day I'm like, please call, please call, please call. So finally about 2 weeks later, she calls and she goes, just want to let you know, we talked to the board. Would you accept 800? And I said, sure. But so the point is, when you're in business, if I wouldn't have asked, I wouldn't have got $800 when you asked me about my first speaking gig. So we have to learn as investors, as real estate entrepreneurs, if you want something, all you're going to get is a yes or a no or a maybe. It doesn't hurt. And that's why I wrote the book, The Power of Asking, because I've lived my whole life that way. I haven't begged, but I've asked. Well, let me see. I was broke when I first started, so I probably did beg. But it doesn't hurt to ask. And people want to help people that ask for it. Do you know what I mean? People want to help those people.
Do you ever get to a point where you don't have imposter syndrome anymore?
When you say that, you mean?
Do you feel like every time now when you do a motivational speaking or you get asked to, talk to a group, do you still have that lingering feeling like there might be somebody in the audience that knows more about what you're talking about than you do, and therefore you have that just always in the back of your mind? I think a lot of people have that.
I think today more than ever, there's more people that know it at my audience. Is just because there's so many educated people in real estate. It used to be they didn't have any sources. Mm-hmm. When I first started speaking, they couldn't go get on the internet because there wasn't computers.
Right.
They couldn't go get on and do all this and learn about this. If they wanted to learn about somebody, they had to go, if they had a book out, they had to go buy their book and read about them, because there was no other way to learn about them. Mm-hmm. And so back then, everybody turned to you for knowledge. Now, you're just kind of adding to what they already know, I believe.
I also think that people learn better in the room. Not always, but like, everybody has a different learning style, right?
Sure.
And it's kind of like when I used to do my education courses, I loved going to Randall locally because I wanted to be in the room, because then I actually absorbed it. But if I'm watching it on a screen or if I'm listening to it, I don't absorb the same way.
I am the same exact way, Ted. I have to touch, feel, and see in order to learn. And I've got the GPA from college to prove it. I have a horrible GPA from college because I wasn't a book guy. I learned by watching you.
Yeah.
If I watch you do something, I'm going to learn more than if I read it in a book.
And I think that's the power of having the people in the room still.
Yeah. I totally agree with that.
Every time we do a re-event, there's still 50, 60 people watching online.
Yeah.
People that's how they absorb their knowledge, and maybe they're not people that want to be around other people.
Or they can't make it that night and they don't want to miss it.
Yeah, of course. That's why it's out there.
And you have, you can see their passion when you're watching somebody talk.
Well, that's why, and you have a very successful and a huge audience in your podcast, which is The Journey, right? And that's one thing that Ted and I have. We've done this is 324 episodes now after today, and this isn't a money generating activity. It can be if you wanted to go that route, but we love this, and nothing makes me feel better than to have somebody that we've had on like we had Dalton Dagus on a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And he's just an awesome young man, and he's kicking butt in business, really motivated.
Yeah.
And he gave us such a nice shout out on
really
social
kind.
media.
Yeah.
And I read that and I was like, man, it's all worth it. 324 times we've come to this studio and spent hours on the labor of love that we have. And
It's also fun seeing somebody after almost 5 years of doing this, that we've seen how they progress.
yeah.
Getting somebody in that maybe is just at the
Right.
start of it.
Right.
Maybe, and you're seeing this, and then all of a sudden you see them, a year or two later, or we get them back on, and it's like
A little follow-up.
this empire is being built.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit. I saw that in you.
And you guys have built a little empire in what you're doing. I mean, everybody knows who you both are, and you've got a very successful podcast. And I'm like you. I have a podcast called the Van Deeb Podcast. It's all business. I do 15 to 20 minutes of just business anecdotes, solutions, challenges, and that's it. I rarely have a guest, but then I have my radio show called The Journey, which is a true radio show, turns into a podcast, which I'm grateful that both of you are going to be a guest on The Journey.
Excited about that.
Yeah, real excited about that. But I don't get paid anything. I don't pay my guests anything. All you do is you hope there's some gratitude there because you're trying to help people. You're trying to help promote people.
Yeah.
Like when I have you guys on, I want to promote everything that you guys are doing during that hour. But I enjoy learning about people. Like I've had 3 mayors on. And like our current mayor today, John Ewing, he was a guest on my show 2 years ago. And I always ask for a resume because I formulate my questions by what I read about him. And this guy had a resume that was unbelievable with service to our country, our city, our state for the last 40 years. And I'm like, he deserves to be mayor. He's earned it. He's done
the public service.
He's done everything in public service. I had no idea about him. So I learned things. I had Johnny Rogers on, and I have people that really open up because I encourage people to open up because we all get better by learning about people's failures and things that were negative in their life. And Johnny's going, when I was 14, even people were calling me, so I knew nothing about this about him. When I was 14, I'd come home from school and my mom would be drunk and beat me. And one day I ran away from home. I stole a car, drove to Detroit to live with my grandma, got a girl pregnant. We became parents at 14.
Johnny Rogers?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No, I even had Gary Saddlemeyer on, who's the king of broadcasting radio yesterday. I brought this up. He didn't know about it. Johnny brought up it. So I love this kind of platform that we have because people open up and people say things that, so the message I got is if there's 14-year-olds out there listening, if you've had some things that have happened negative in your life, you got somebody pregnant at a young age, you stole a car, you ran away from home, that doesn't mean you can't go out and win a Heisman Trophy. You know what I mean? So that's the message I want to see. I want people to tell me their vulnerabilities, what happened to you in your life, so the rest of the world knows if you make mistakes in life, it's okay. We all make mistakes. That doesn't mean you can't live a very fluid, successful life.
When you think about making mistakes, I'm sure you've had a lot of successes and failures throughout your life. It appears from, the seat that we're sitting in that you have really failed miserably at retirement.
Yeah.
You went
What's
through
that word?
As you're talking about doing real estate deals at midnight.
right. So 44 years in the business. So 1982, you break in, fresh-faced kid, wanting to set the world on fire.
22 years old, didn't know how to spell real estate.
Yeah, and you fast forward to where you're at now. How long ago was it when you sold Deeb Realty?
I think 17 years ago, and then Andy turned it into Nebraska Realty.
Yeah, and what did you do after retirement? I think we talked about this all the way back in episode 38, but...
So I had planned on doing nothing but motivational speaking, keep my license, be my own broker, just me, myself, and I, service some past clients, still be a member of the MLS and all that. And so I did exactly that, but I really missed the real estate world. I went through a depression.
Yep.
And I didn't tell a lot of people that, but I went through a depression because I no longer had 400 agents that I was responsible for. My phone wasn't ringing off the hook. I wasn't doing a deal or helping somebody with a deal every 30 seconds. And so it really messed with me. And so I decided to start a little company called Big Omaha Realty, and I advertised a little bit, got a couple agents, had fun with that. And then, I decided I want to go a little bigger. So I always loved the name Prime. Really awesome. It was already, the name Prime was taken in the state of Nebraska. And the company we found that was using it just was using it for the name of their real estate portfolio. They weren't using it as a business. So I knew some people that knew some people, and anyway, they gave us the name and they didn't charge us anything.
Oh, wow.
That's really, and because I mean, the attorney for them said they want to know what Van Deeb wants to do with it. And they said he wants to start a company, and they said that they'll just give it to him and that he doesn't have to buy it. And they changed their name.
I had a note here.
That doesn't happen.
No, but we have a lot of good people in this state.
Yeah.
I mean, the Midwest is full of really good humans.
For sure. I had a note here to ask you about Prime and where the idea. I wrote down Deion Sanders, Amazon Prime, and Logan Paul, who has Prime, the energy drink.
Yes.
So I didn't know if that was a tip of the cap to them or not.
I'm a big Deion Sanders fan of not a lot of all the other stuff, but the fact that this guy busted his tail, played 2 professional sports
at a high level.
At a high level, motivates his people, turns young men into winning champions and winners as humans. I'm a big fan of his. But I've always loved the name Prime, and I didn't want to have my name in this one. And so I just like the name. But we could piggyback on a lot of stuff. You could say we're a division of Amazon.
The very first time I heard your name mentioned, my neighbor, Marissa Cronin.
Love her.
She was talking about you because she had her agent's license back then. And I think she was your assistant, if memory serves.
She was with our firm. Yeah.
Yep. And she raved about what a great guy you are.
Geez.
What a great boss.
I pay her.
She is very sarcastic, right? And so for her to like give props to somebody, I knew that was a big deal. But that was before you and I met, probably before
years ago.
Yeah, I don't think I was very far into real estate at all. But I remember your name and hearing your name. I'm like, is that his real name, Van Deeb? And I always thought in my head, like, you need a title like Count Van Deeb or Sir Van Deeb or something like that. It feels like there's something missing at the front there.
Well,
like
I tell you,
President Van Deeb.
I like that. Mayor
Van. Oh man, is this the start of your political career? Are we witnessing?
You didn't say that on the podcast with the current mayor, did you?
No, I was appointed by 3 mayors to be a planning commissioner on the planning board. I served 3 terms. I've done a little bit of government work, but I love this town, and I've got to stay busy, and I have to be intentional. I have to work for people. I have to serve people. That's just who I am, and I'd like to explore that.
For real?
Yeah.
Dude, Ted and I will work on your campaign.
Well, then there's 3 of us. There's 3 of us that'll vote for me.
There you go.
I would 100% stump for you. For sure.
Okay. Well, I would be. Here's the thing. I'm a good businessman. I would surround myself with people that work work in the office that are really good at what they do. So it's not just a mayor making decisions of, I want the best of the best telling me what to do. And I'm not afraid to say that. A lot of people are afraid to say, well, yeah, I know exactly what to do. No, I don't. But I'm going to surround myself with the best humans possible, and we're going to do the best thing.
Okay, here's the question.
Holy cow, this is awesome.
Here's the question I ask you. If you open up your phone, how many contacts do you have in your phone?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I save everybody when I do a real estate deal with them. I save every like all the trades that they work with, just in case. Probably 4,000. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's about to one up you.
No, I had a recruiter come in and try to recruit me to get into politics.
Oh,
from Washington.
Oh boy!
And I was like,
you'd be great at it.
And I declined on it. But the long story of it is, he started off the conversation the very first time we sat down. He goes, "How many contacts do you have in your phone?" And then we pulled it up, and it was like 8,400. And wow! And he goes, each one of those are up to 10 votes.
Wow.
And he goes, those are your core. And just because they know you, they're going to talk about you with all their friends.
Wow.
And so that was like, he's like, I think he said the average person has under 500 contacts in his phone. So something to think about.
I sat down with Mayor Deeb and I've sat down with several mayors, Fahey, and
I've gone drinking with him once.
He's a good guy. He's a really good guy. And I just said, if I run, give me some help. And he goes, these guys all think I do real well if I ran.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to start doing more community speeches. Like I want nonprofits to call me to come do motivational speeches for them. I won't charge them a dime. I want to really start getting out there. But he said, pick 3 topics and really be knowledgeable on it. You're not supposed to be knowledgeable, but 3. And my number 1 is affordable housing. If I do something on a city level, I want to be known for this is the guy Like right now, if you call up the president of the Omaha Board of Realtors, and I'm not bragging on me,
No.
but he'll tell you that when we opened up Deeb Realty in 1993, we changed the way real estate was done in Omaha. You know, brokers were used to, I mean, back then, you had to have the phone number of the company on the sign back in those days. So people would call the company and there'd be somebody on duty desk that, you know, the receptionist would answer the phone. They say, I'm calling about 126 Jackson Street. Well, she can't answer. You can't even say it's a 3-bedroom if you're not licensed. So she would give it to the 2 people sitting behind her on duty desk, right? I didn't think that was fair. You went out and busted your ass to get the listing and you're not getting the call. I lobbied to get the company phone number off the sign. That's one thing we did. And then back then you'd have a closing and you'd be lucky to get paid in 10 days to 2 weeks. That's just the way it was. We changed that. If you had a closing and you were at my company, if you had a closing at 1:00, you're getting your check by 2:30.
Love that.
Nobody did that. We really put the word independent in realtor. Before, the broker said jump and the agent said how high. When I started, we changed the whole philosophy. And all of a sudden, we've got people leaving Berkshire, Dodge, CBS, Home. All of a sudden, we have 400 agents that say, I want this type of brokerage. I want to be able to, you know, and even commission. They told you what you had to charge in commission, which is against the Nebraska Real Estate Commission. You know, the traditional was 7%. We wanted people to charge 7%, but we also didn't want somebody to walk in somebody's door and say, hey, Owen, you're the best realtor I've interviewed today, but Johnny is going to do what you're going to do for 5% instead of 6%.
Yep.
I didn't want our agents to say, well, I'm sorry, my broker won't let me. So we allowed them to be their own independent business people, you know.
With something as polarizing as affordable housing, it's such a hot button right now with economic, you know, all the inflation that we've gone through and people are struggling. You know, they kind of did I can't remember the name of the bill they just passed about affordable housing, but really the hallmark of that was a lot of people need somebody to demonize, and they were kind of looking at Wall Street and hedge funds and
right. They're going after the wrong people.
Yes. Yeah. So do you have, I guess, if we're talking about things that you have a ton of knowledge in, real estate is the first thing that jumps to mind, but what do you think actually would help the affordable housing situation that we're in?
So what I would recommend, just the first thing, and I'm telling you this, I'm not exaggerating. You'll find I'm very transparent. I have not brought this up to anybody, not even my fiance. I've not brought this up, but I think you get a lot of landowners that have great land or or homes that are dilapidated, whatever. You get them and you give them some sort of a tax abatement, some sort of credit, something where they will sell it to a builder or a developer at an affordable price so they can turn this land into affordable housing, sections of affordable housing all over the state, all over the city of Omaha, where it's got to start with landowners. You've got to make it attractive for landowners to want to participate in an affordable housing projects. And you know, right now they're going to say, I'm not going to sell you this land for affordable housing. I want top dollar. We have to make it attractive. It's just like Dallas, Texas. I was there for my first 10 years in real estate, from 82 to 92. And then I moved back home for family reasons here at Omaha. But anybody that was considering relocating, BMW, all these other gigantic companies, they're looking for new homes. Anybody that considered Dallas would always win. Because they did everything in their power to make it attractive, where they wouldn't have to pay a personal tax for 5 years, or they got abatements for so many years. That's what I think we have to do in our state. We have to make it attractive for people to want to put up affordable housing.
So what are the next 2 things that you would focus on?
I don't know what they are. I mean, crime is always going to be something. I'm a really big fan of 2 other entities, and that's educators and first responders. Yeah. And I would want to do everything in my power to see both their salaries go up. I think you're going to have more people wanting to get into law enforcement and the fire department. If they made a couple bucks more, I think you'll see more people want to be educators. If you help them with, you know, making more money also.
It's funny you mentioned those 2 things because first off, my wife's a teacher, 19 years.
Yeah.
And the thing she tells my kids is, you know, at one point my son's like, I'd want to be a teacher. Yeah. And my mom, you know, my wife's like,
I would want to, or I wouldn't
would want to. My wife's like, absolutely not. Like, you know, little pay,
support,
no support, like no backing up, you know, when there's an issue, you know, my wife's taking care of really good at her school, so I'm not dissing on it. But the amount of money she makes to have 2 master's degrees, and the crap she's got to deal with, which I'm not going to talk about. And she's
dealing with people that aren't qualified to be teachers also.
Yeah.
Well, the worst thing.
Or how about the parents?
Yeah. And that's what they're dealing with. So my family is teachers and preachers. That's the majority. I'm the only oddball that got into sales.
Well,
but
it says a lot, though.
Yeah.
You're teaching and preaching, aren't you?
Well, I'm doing that now. Yeah. But so I've always grown up with a real love of educators and preachers. My great grandpa was one of the most well-known preachers. We're all from Kearney, Nebraska. But anyway, I know teachers that go to Kinko's to make copies, and they pay for it out of their own pocket because the copy machine at their school is never working. And even getting the private community, there's a lot of money in Omaha. I mean, there's a lot of successful people. If we can make it attractive for them to partner up with schools, so we can, give stipends to teachers, we can help them with their salaries. So my 3 things would be real estate, first responders, and educators.
I love that. Those
are the 3 most important to me.
The most unfortunate thing about the education system we have too is the fact that when state budget cuts are on the table for anything, one of the very first things that they redline is education and the funding for our kids.
Yeah, let's pay the football coaches more.
Yes,
let's pay and I love football. I love Nebraska football. Yeah. I'm in front of the TV every time they play. But I can't believe that they're making these budget cuts and they're getting rid of academics to pay the coaches another $1 million.
Right.
And it's like, I think they can live on $8 million.
Yeah, I think they're good.
But we accept it. Our society would rather complain about something than do something about it.
You're exactly right.
And I think it's a lot more productive to be that voice, not complaining, but being proactive out there. I love people that go against the grain. I don't want to be one of those guys that's in a room that's agreeing with everybody.
How do you think that would play out? So let's say you're in a political office like being the mayor of Omaha.
Yeah.
Okay, it's really hard to get more than 50% of the population to agree with you on anything.
Yeah.
How does that play out to someone that's so good and successful in motivation and sales, where you feel like you're almost powerless to convince a swath of people to see things how you see it? Yeah. I guess how do you reconcile that?
That is going to be difficult for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to work on that because I want everybody to be happy with what my decision has been. I mean, when I walk in a room, like when I had 10 admin at my last large company, I'd come in with this great idea and then I said, pick it apart. And I mean, we'd end up leaving the room not using my idea because everybody else had better ideas. And so I want to please everybody. But in any leadership position, what you guys are doing, anybody that's in a leadership position, you're not going to please everybody. And I think that will be difficult for me. And I think I'll have to, I'm always trying to find something to work on to make myself a better human. That's something I'm going to have to work on because I don't want to upset people. And I know in a position like that, you can be the greatest guy in the world and people are going to hate you.
But when's the last time you saw a local leader get out there and get in front of people, like really in front of people, and put on a speech out in the downtown, or
and I want to be that guy. I want to motivate people to be better. Yeah.
Or go to North Omaha and do a speech, or do South Omaha speech, or even come to West Omaha speech. You don't see it. Like, I can't tell you. I have gone to real estate networking events and seen a mayor speak before every once in a while, but that's not getting in the community.
No.
I mean, I've invited the past mayor probably 5 times, 6 times to come speak.
Never did.
And always got, and I even talked to her, we talked on Facebook Messenger, and she would help me with getting a permit, but I couldn't. And then said, "Oh yeah, I talked to my person about come to speaker group, but never made it." Yeah. Like, we need a leader that actually gets out in the community.
People want to be heard.
Voice out there. I mean, you're a phenomenal speaker, so that'd be great for you, and it'd be easy for you to get out there and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go out in the middle. I'm gonna go in Central Park downtown, and I'm gonna have a speech and I'm gonna have a talk." And I think that's how you get greater than 50%.
I think you're right. And, we're a politically divided city. I think every city in the country is probably that way. I want to be, if I choose to do it, I want it to be for everybody. Democrats, independents, Republicans. I want, this is nonpartisan. So I would want to accommodate everybody. And that's not always the case. If there's a Republican mayor And it's a Republican person that wants to get something done. A lot of times they're going to lean to help them. It's a Democrat that wants to get something done. A lot of times they're not. I mean, and it works both ways. I want to be serving everybody, not just parties.
I love this man, Mayor Van Deeb. Finally,
I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but I just, it's good timing for me. I don't want to stop working because I love to work. It just happens to be my skill set is real estate, but I just love working. I don't care what it is.
Well, honestly, you're the right age to do it.
Well, I don't know. I'll be 70 in 3 years.
Yeah.
So, because I'll be 6, 7.
Yeah.
So,
This is I think it's the right age to do something like that.
yeah.
You're kind of
I'll
like
probably be the only guy that runs for mayor that gets assassinated before the vote because I said something. I do sometimes struggle with. I kind of say what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not always politically correct.
Yeah.
And I probably have to work on that also.
Yeah, especially if you don't want to give her that 50% mark.
Yeah. Well, people got to vote.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of our last mayors that lost is because they thought that everybody was going to vote for them. They just didn't get out and vote.
Yeah, the complacency.
Yep. You asked earlier about the first time you heard Van's name.
Mm-hmm.
So I have two totally different parts of my life where I've heard your name. First one was
in prison.
Yeah. First one was when I did Omaha Nightlife in the 2000s.
Okay.
And I had my charity with Elizabeth Edwards called Dancing with the Omaha Stars.
Oh boy.
And you helped us with that.
Yeah.
And then
I was a judge, I think.
Yeah, I think a couple times.
Yeah.
And then pretty much every name you've mentioned between the police chiefs and, the current mayor, everybody's been involved with it.
Yeah.
So that's where I met. That's the first version of you I know.
Yep.
And the second version when it was in the real estate world was through Jerry Schlickburn. And I was already acquainted through you.
She's awesome.
And Jerry talked about how day one of coming into town, you reached out to her and had a lot of positive things to say. And of course, I'm like, well, I know Van from Dancing with the Stars. And then she just went on about how you were the first agent to reach out to her, took her out to lunch, had lots of positive, and we're truly there to help.
Well,
and then we got reconnected through that again. Then it was like another version through the RIA days. Yeah. So it's kind of funny how there's just been these different timelines where this has all come together.
And since you're talking about my name, I got to tell you a quick story. In high school, I was a non-conforming rebel. I just was, I didn't do anything real bad, but I like to make people laugh. I was the clown. Mm-hmm. And we're in class. It was the very first day. I'm sitting with my buddies back. It's the first day and he's going through roll call. And the teacher, I don't know what happened with the roll call on the sheet, but he goes, Van Deeb. I raised my hand. He goes, what's your first name? And my friends are looking at me. They're kind of giggling. I go, Bruce. So he wrote down Bruce. So every day when they did roll call, Bruce Van Deeb. And my friends would always giggle. Well, the teacher ended up finding out about it. And probably one of the many reasons I got an F in that class. But so my advice to people is don't tell your teacher the wrong name.
What other habits or things do you do to, keep yourself sharp and maintain your longevity and your interest and wanting to give back? Everybody's got something in their life that they do that sets them apart from other people. We talked about your fitness routine. Yeah. What else? What are some, we take a look at the day in the life of Van Deeb. Do you have any habits? I love visiting with people that are just entering the real estate world. Mm-hmm. I love to sit down and find out what their why is, what their plans are. And I love brand new agents. A lot of people think, well, gosh, you've been doing it for 4+ decades. What are you going to learn? You're not going to learn a thing. I walk away from those meetings really learning something. So I want to learn something new every day. I want to get better every day. I want to read a new quote that may make me look at things differently. I want to listen to somebody that may say something and go, wow, I admire what Owen just said. I want to start incorporating that in my life. But I just want to, I'm pretty routine. I don't have a lot of flashy, I'm pretty routine. I don't do a lot at night. I will go meet people for dinner. And a lot of people know if you're going to eat past 6, I'm not the guy to call because I like to be home early. Yeah. I just do. And that's my happy place. But I think if you allow yourself to evolve and to go with the changes that is going on in your head, that it makes life a lot easier. I think people that try to be something that they're not have difficulty. But I'm trying to find something new out about myself every day. I like what you said there about you were really fired up about meeting with newer, less experienced folks, right? So agents in your case, obviously 44 years in the business. Yeah. I find the same thing after, I've been doing this 21 years, but of all the meetings that I've had over the years, coffees, lunches, group meetings, speaking engagements, all those things. The thing that I love the most is meeting with people that are just motivated. They want something better for themselves or their family. They want to learn, and sitting down and seeing the light bulb just go off over and over and over in a normal conversation you're having with them about stuff you've been doing forever. So it comes easily. That is the best.
Yeah. And that's why us three are all on the same page. And I'm so excited to be on your podcast because I love being around like-minded people like you two. But, one word, one look can change people's lives. If you're walking down the hall and you're used to looking down wherever you're at, and you look up and you smile at somebody, that may be the only smile that they received all day. That could change their whole everything. I got to tell you this, and this happens. Thankfully, it happens a lot. I'm at church a while back, and I don't visit that church that very much often. I hop around. I try to go to just one all the time, but I like to hop around because I have a lot of preacher friends. And I'm out in the hall. A guy walks up to me, goes, "I was at one of your speeches about 30 years ago." And I don't remember the speech, but he goes, "I'm an electrician. And I came up to you, and because my speech was on entrepreneurship." And he said, it's the whole speech. So he came up to me afterwards during the Q&A, and he goes, "Do you think I have what it takes to open my own electric company, a service?" And I said, "You have the ability to do anything that you want to." I said, "I could tell by just talking to you that you can do this." And I said, I just was firing him positivity on why he can do it. So he said to me, that was 30 years ago. The following year, I started my own business. And I've been thriving ever since. And he said, "Can you wait right here?" And I said, "Sure." He went and grabbed his wife, and he started getting teared up saying, "This is the guy I've been telling you about." I left that meeting. I was teared up, for one, walking out to my car. And I realized how impactful Ted, Owen, Van, all of us can be if we just take the time to let people know that they matter. One word, one sentence, one look can change somebody's life, because so many people feel like they're on an island. All they want is one person to say, "I believe in you." And the world can change. Everything can change by just one person believing in you.
Man, that is so well said.
But it's the truth. It's not BS. I mean, man alive, that's what we need. I need it. I need somebody to believe in me. We all need it. It's not just for certain people that aren't where they want to be. We all need people to say, "You matter to me." But I'd rather show them than tell them. Show them that you care. Take the time to look at them and tell them what their capabilities are. And I believe, I heard this back in 1982, a book that was written in 1937 called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, still the second best-selling book on the planet today. Still this, but there was a quote in there I heard when I first started business, and it stayed with me forever, from Napoleon Hill. If you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it. Now think about it. Ted and Owen want something. You see it in your head, and you already picture you guys being there. You really believe it. You're going to make it happen. I preach to people all the time. Take 3 minutes a day out of the room with the kids, with your significant other, cell phones off, and just close your eyes and picture what you're trying to accomplish. Maybe it's taking your kids to Disneyland once a year. Maybe it's building a real estate empire. Maybe it's being the best person at your job. Think about what the results are from that, and then stop and get your pad and pen and start writing down what you have to do to make that happen. I'm telling you, it's powerful. It's powerful because we're equipped. Like I tell real estate agents, the people that are out there making a fortune in real estate are making a fortune because they made a decision to. Not that that God said, "You're going to be successful." You're not. You are. You're not. We all are on a level playing field. It's just some of us that say, "I want more," are going to make decisions to go out and do that. One is asking for help, not being afraid to say, "Well, I know you don't have a budget, so I'll just charge you my minimum." These are the type of things that we need to do more of to get what we want. And people want to help those people. People want to help people and say, I'm trying to provide for my family. If you know anybody that needs a plumber, I can't tell you how grateful I'd be if you'd refer me. This is what we need more of.
Yeah. I had kind of weirdly impactful conversation last night. My wife and I talked about this a little bit after the game, but I went to my daughter's softball game. She's had a billion of them this summer, and it's great, and I love it. I complain about the traveling, but I do love it.
Yeah,
and
I could tell you're a great dad.
And oh well, thank you. I try, but I was sitting there. In front of us was a couple, and my wife knows the wife pretty well, and she's very friendly, and we've talked about softball. Her daughter's on the same team and all that. And her husband, his name's Brent. He is always at the games too, and he's a baseball guy, and he's one of those guys that is very quiet, is very soft spoken, kind of seems standoffish, right? And you can picture this. You have people and they're like, they're kind of standoffish, not easy to approach, and therefore you don't talk to them. They just look like they don't want to talk to you. That's always the vibe I got from him, because he'd always be like, hey, I'm talking to Leslie, his wife, a lot during the game, and he'll just never say anything. So finally last night, I know that we actually used to play against each other in a baseball league right after college. And I bring up that league and a guy that I know he knows. And so I happen to bring this up to him. I go, hey, Brent. And I said, do you know a guy named Andy? And I mentioned his last name. And he's like, oh, yeah, his face lights up. And he's like, oh, how do you know? He's like, I know him really well. And I'm like, he bought a Golden Tee machine from me this week. And we happened to talk. And I figured you guys probably knew each other. He talked to me the entire rest of the game for about 2 hours, like literally was turning around over his shoulder and talking to me. And that completely changed his whole demeanor and engagement that we had.
Made you think different of him.
It did. And I guess what I was thinking about while you were talking about motivating people and having an effect, a ripple effect on just a single conversation or a question you ask them or a thought that you just happen to mention, that completely changed our relationship. Yeah. So having the courage, I guess, to talk to somebody that might seem standoffish, just to find a little bit of common ground. People want that. They want connection, but some people just aren't very good at it or are uncomfortable. It doesn't mean they're mean or they don't want to talk to you. They just don't know how.
And it made you feel good too.
It did. I felt awesome. And I was telling my wife, and I'm like,
now you guys are going to connect every time you see him.
And she was like, she's just shaking her head, because she's like, go figure or whatever. And I'm like, but I was pumped after that. I was like, man, if I hadn't asked him that question, I would have gone the entire season and not know the guy at all or anything he's pumped about. And he was just nonstop talking.
I love that. See, I want to tell you something similar. There's a guy at my gym. He's a badass. He looks like you don't want to go approach him.
Yeah.
You don't want to, he's always had kind of the scowl on his face and kind of walked around like I'm Mr. Muscle. And, people don't talk to him. Mm-hmm. I've never talked to him. We just have seen each other and we walked by each other. I'm laying on my back doing a leg lift. I was by myself. I just started growing this goatee. I've never had one. And my significant other, she loves those. So I started growing it for her and I got used to the itch and now I've kept it. So I'm on my back. He's never said a word to me. He's always like, I didn't know if he liked me. He comes up to me while I'm laying on my back and he goes, hey, Deeb, I like your goatee. Don't shave it. And from that minute on, hey, what's happening, bro? Every time I go in the gym, he made a decision to make me feel like I matter. And then all of a sudden now we're not like hanging out, but now we're saying hello to each other.
Yeah.
Because he stepped out of his comfort zone to give me a compliment.
Especially nowadays when everything is social media and it's all just quick dopamine hits, and you don't get that. When Colin was on last week,
don't give this guy high fives at the gym. He doesn't like it.
That's not what I said. But it's the difference between oxytocin, which is kind of the connection, serotonin and oxytocin versus dopamine, which we're a dopamine society now.
Yes, we are.
But he probably is missing connection with people too because of the fact that maybe he does have RDF and looks unapproachable, but everybody wants that. I think at some level, it's just finding the way to form a meaningful connection with somebody. You don't have to become best friends.
Hello. Yeah. It's making people, acknowledging people is making them feel like they matter.
Yeah. When you mentioned Colin is a huge fan of yours.
I'm a huge fan of his.
It sounds like you guys had some really strong connections.
Colin has been on my radio show, which you guys are going to be. I'm a big fan of his. Now, he gives me too much credit. He said I'm the one that motivated him to get into real estate. And all I did is tell him that he'd be great at it. I think he was a butcher at Hy-Vee or something, wasn't he?
A manager, right?
Store manager.
Yeah. A store manager. That's it. And just a great guy. And we go way back, and I don't get a chance to spend as much time with him, but I'm real proud of what he's done. And he's changing lives on a daily basis. Talk about someone to help people believe in themselves. I guarantee you he's made a lot of investors that didn't plan on being investors.
100%.
But all you guys, you too, I mean, that's what this podcast does. You're helping people get better. It may not be titled that, but people learn from listening to people that are real.
I went boating with Colin last Saturday, and then he has this AI thing he built, and he's got his couple screens on there, and we just got done boating. He's like, I got like 5 things going right now, and give me something to do. I need something to do. And I'm like, well, I go, and I was just like, I need a website for the car wash, and so he's like, great. 24 minutes later, had what would be a $5,000 website done.
Yeah, fully functional website,
completely done. And I bought a website name, and it was up and running.
Oh my gosh!
And I was like,
yeah,
thank you.
He's brilliant.
Yeah,
Colin is brilliant.
He doesn't position himself that way, but he absolutely is.
He doesn't act like it. He's very unassuming.
Owen and him are partners on a lot of businesses.
Is that right?
He's something else. They broke mold with him, that's for sure. But man, this has been so fun. I wish we got to spend more time together. And
let's do it.
Just remember us when you're in the political offices.
You guys will be in there with me. I'm going to give you guys a position.
You're going to knight us or something.
We're going to deputize us. I'm going to appoint you to real estate gurus.
Maybe we get the key to the city.
I can't even get a key to this office, Ted. I had to bang on the door this morning just to get in here.
If I can remember how to break into things, I'll get it for you.
One thing I do want to mention is you mentioned that the gentleman that had the electrician company.
Yeah.
I tried to, every time I see somebody speak, I tried to take one key takeaway from that. Yeah. And I don't remember if it was having you on the podcast or just seeing you speak, because I've seen you speak probably 30 times.
Yeah.
I traveled and see you around a lot, but there's something that always stuck out to me, and I see your face every time this opportunity comes up, is you mentioned a story about how you put your name out to all the reporters, and you're like, hey, I never say no to those opportunities to be able to get my face out there, get my name out there. And I was definitely the person that would pass that opportunity on to like people around me when those opportunities came up. So after I heard you say that, I remember you said that, and then it was probably 5 days later, an opportunity came on to get interviewed for the Daily Record on investing. And I'm like, not going to say no. And I normally would have said no to that in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would have.
And so now speaking engagements, getting on a podcast,
you're all over it.
I every single time those opportunities, I see your face and those words ring out on your story, and I always correlate that opportunity to Van Deeb, and Van says never say no, and that has helped me get myself out there more.
I'm glad to hear that. I want to tell you, I really believe in that. So one thing, if you want to be good at something, that you need exposure, and that's real estate. We need to let people know that we're in it. And when you're on TV, you automatically get a label of an expert. If they're going to interview you, you may not be, but that's what people are going to think. I would send holiday cards with my family on it, and it's a Deeb Realty, whatever wishes you a happy holiday. I would send that to all of the political people in town, mayors, legislators, every year, and every news reporter, every news anchor. When I'd go to restaurants, I didn't know these people. I'm just starting my career. They'd come up and say hello to me. And whoever I'd be with, wow, you know these people? Yeah. So I did that for a reason. But what you were talking about too is I would call up reporters, and they were grateful. I'd say, hey man, anytime you have a real estate story, this is my career and my passion, I will stop what I'm doing. And that's music to their ears, because when they get a story like interest rates go down or go up, they want to interview somebody local.
Yeah.
They're struggling. Who should we call? And I made it a point. So I had all of them calling me. And then all of a sudden I've got the head anchor at Channel 6, John Nicely, has bought, I think 3 homes from me in the last 30 years. All these guys that work there buy homes from me or done business with me because they've gotten to know me. But I want to tell you one story. It was 1997. I get a call from Channel 7. I'll never forget. It was 3:00 in the afternoon. I'm home. And they said, we're doing a story on radon, this new thing that everybody's talking about. And we just started hearing of it. There was nothing radon in Omaha. We had to go to Des Moines to get an inspector to come check for radon. We don't know what it was. And, So they said, we want to do a story on radon. And so I said, okay, when? They go, would we want to get it on the 6 o'clock? Can we come over to your house now? And I said, sure. So I'm like doing what I can. But as soon as I hung up, because I don't know jack about radon, as soon as I get off the phone with Channel 7, I called up a guy named John Waniger, who owned Amerispec back in the 90s.
He's owned all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, he's just a great entrepreneur. But he would know if anybody said, hey, John, I said, what the hell is radon? So he gave me like a 5-minute,
Cliff Notes version
of what radon is. And I felt like George Bush when they interviewed me. Even my friends said, boy, you were kind of animated during your interview. But they were like, well, Van, tell us about this thing everybody's talking about with radon. And I was going, it's bad. It's real bad, like a George Bush speech. But so my whole point is any opportunity you get to be on, learn what you have to learn about the topic, but it gives you exposure. I say it in all my books is if you're in a business that you need the public to do business with you. Not every career is that way where you need that, but in real estate, at least residential, you need exposure because that's where people are going to pick I trust that guy or I don't trust him. And so I really believe in that. Step outside of your comfort zone. I mean, that's what helps us grow. I told you I'm going to wear a Rod Stewart wig, a real hair wig, and I might even impress my significant other. I might even wear it on the plane, not just at dinner that night. But that's out of my comfort zone. I like to dress nice. I like to look good. That's going to totally screw everything up. But I don't care because I want to step out of my comfort zone, And people are going to say, hey, there's a guy that looks like a terrorist and Rod Stewart all in one.
I had one more quick story about you that I remember. My youngest daughter was at her elementary school, and I volunteered they had a program called Watchdogs, and it was basically for dads to come to the school, and you would greet the kids, give them high fives in the hallways, hang out with them. That was it. It was just basically you're there half a day or full day, and you're just, spending time with kids, making them feel safe, greeting them when they come to the school, have an awesome day, like stuff like that. And I got such a kick out of that. But I remember I was walking up and down the hallways, and I stopped because they had a quote wall. They had a wall where they had various quotes from people, and it was like, Maya Angelou and Martin Luther King and stuff like that. And I remember seeing your name on the wall, and it said Van Deeb underneath. And I was like, I recognized your name because I was getting going in real estate. Yeah. And it was and I wish I would have, I took a picture of it. I remember this. And I do have it, but it was probably like 4 phones ago because this is a while back. Yeah. But I remember it was such a great quote, and it was a motivational thing. And I think they had you come and speak at the school. This is Lewis Central High School or Lewis Central Elementary School. Yep. Titan Hill.
Yes, and I was there. I know exactly who asked me to come speak.
Yeah, and I was just like, that is so badass that he did that, and I always remembered that. So I took a picture of that. And there's probably a flip phone, but I do have it somewhere. And I wish I would have. I was looking for it this morning, and I was just oh man, I can't find it.
That makes me feel good. That makes me feel good.
It was so cool though, and that was just leaving your mark, and like an indelible mark that you got out of your comfort zone. Spoke in an elementary school. Kids had no idea who you are, but I guarantee you pumped them up, and they remember that. It's the
elementary
little
kids, yeah.
If you can make them smile and make their day better, because not everybody has. Not everybody has everything they need to be successful, but if you can help them with making their day better, it's the little things, right? It's a building block.
Yes.
So that was an impactful moment for me when I saw it.
That makes me feel good. I got to tell you this real quick. So I was asked to speak at the Dundee Elementary School not long ago, and it was career day, and I think it was for third graders. And so I was prepared. They prepared me that I might get some silly questions, and so I'm in front of them, and one person asked me, they're all raising their hand after I gave a little 5-minute speech. And one of them raised their hand. I called them. They go, my mom and dad have one of those vacuum cleaners that goes by itself and you don't have to push it. Do you have one? And the teacher's in the back going,
Just shaking their head.
And I said, no, sir. I said, I have the kind that I have to push with a cord at the end. The rest of the questions, the rest of the 30 minutes were the kids. Yes, sir. My parents have a black vacuum cleaner. And I go, well, and then it got to be where everybody's asking me about vacuum cleaners because the teacher finally said, okay, that's enough. Let's say goodbye to Mr. Deeb now. Everybody give him a big, but it was hilarious. This is where these kids
are.
And
the best,
I had more fun going in there doing that than
Yeah. That is so great.
Yeah, I had one elementary, because I do a lot of kids, and I had one elementary school where it was packed. I think it was a whole assembly. And one of the kids goes, they were raising their hand, and I could see the principal go like this, like quench her eyes when I called on him. Like, what's he going to say? He goes, at what age did you start going bald? And then all the questions from that on were all about the way I look. Your ears are big, your nose is big. And I'm leaving there and I get a call. I didn't recognize the number. It was the principal apologizing. And I said, I don't take that. They're kids.
Yeah.
But I think we all ought to, do something where we can be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think it helps us grow to do something that we wouldn't do every day.
Yeah. Power of Being Uncomfortable. Isn't that a book?
Well,
I think so. Yeah.
To put a bow on this whole conversation, I think you have the power of making people comfortable, even though you preach becoming uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You're such a pleasure to have in, and we're very thankful that you spend the time with us. So I know our listeners we're gonna get a lot of views and a lot of listens on this. So
I'm a big fan of both of you two. You both are changing lives. I hear people quoting Owen and Ted. Both of you guys about, you're helping people become more educated in real estate, which I know you know that. And you guys are responsible for a lot of people's success. So congratulations to both of you.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of success, we have you speaking next week.
Yeah.
And the topic is 5 Ds of real estate.
Yes. 5 Ds of investing in real estate.
Yeah. So can you give us an oversight of what that's going to look like?
I'm real excited because I really, in my heart, believe that if you incorporate these 5 Ds, not just in investing in real estate, but in all parts of your life, and that's drive, desire, determination, discipline, and decision. And I cover how each one of those plays a role in being a successful investor, of what we have to do different that the average people aren't going to do. So I'm real excited about that presentation. I'm really excited about, the majority, Ted, of my presentations, I find I'm longer at Q&A than I am giving the speech.
Yeah, but that's a good thing,
but that's what I want. I want people to ask me questions.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of people want to know about vacuum cleaners. And,
that's what I'm hoping.
Grooming.
Wouldn't that be funny if you asked me? Hey,
I shouldn't have said that.
No, that would be hilarious if you said, Van, I got a question. Yes, Owen. At what age did you start going bald?
Oh my God! I wish I would have saved that.
Yeah. I'll forget it.
That's great.
You can go ahead and ask it. But I'm real excited because I love being around like-minded people, and I've been in the rooms at your events, and there are packed with like-minded people, and that's how you grow, is learning from others. And so I'm real excited to be there, just to be around all the people that you guys are attracting.
Well, you were the first person to completely break the attendance record that we had.
Oh, wow.
You held the top 3 attendance record over the last 5 years.
Okay.
So, and I think you spoke in 2021, maybe.
Yeah. I remember that. Huge.
Way overdue to get you back.
Oh, yeah. So hopefully, let's tell everybody how to get there. What's the dates and times of this event?
Yeah. So it's going to be July 7th, and come down to Eloft off 180th and Dodge. Mm-hmm. Come see Van Deeb speak. If you are a member, it's no charge. And if you are not a member, please come join us. It's only $20 to come sit, but we have seating for over 140 people, plenty of spots, and we will be giving away books.
Yes.
So we're super excited to have.
And I'd love to visit with them afterwards. I mean, if they have any type of question that I can be helpful to them, that's what I'm there for. But I love being around you guys. You guys get me motivated. I like being in rooms where I'm not the smartest, because I learned something that way. So I like being around you two.
You do have a core group of people that come no matter what. That's for sure.
Yeah, I hope so.
But we do have some questions we always like to finish the podcast with. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Well, the first one that we famously call Failing Forward. And this would be a question where you had a failure in life that it was a learning lesson that you would never take away.
There's several in this one category, and that's talking too much. You're so excited about what you're doing that you just don't stop and ask them questions. When I'd go on listing appointments, I was like JoJo the circus idiot. I still am, but in the beginning it was really bad. I mean, I was so excited about, I'm going to do this. We're going to get this price. And then I leave there and I'd realize, dude, you did all the talking. You're supposed to ask them questions about themselves. And so the biggest failures to me is knowing better and not doing it, knowing what I should do, and then leaving a place going, I know what to do and I didn't do it. That's frustration to me. Frustration to most people is, I'm here. How do I get here? My frustration is, I did the wrong thing and I know it and I know better. That's always been something I'd consider a failure.
Yeah. You know, life has different chapters, and you've gone through several different reinventions of yourself. Yeah. You know, not the least of which what we've alluded to about, you know, potential mayoral happenings.
I haven't talked about it on any platform until today.
Love this.
Yeah.
But when it's all said and done, and you've hung your 100 years of life shingle, and you look back, what do you think your legacy is going to be like? What do you hope people will say about you?
I just hope they say that he believed in me.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. You know, that's why I feel so bad for these kids that, you know, that they rob a store or they get in a fight or they do something to get put in jail and then they're labeled as a bad kid.
Yeah.
They're not. People deserve second, third, and fourth chances. They just do. Now, not everybody is that person, but I think that people need more compassion now than ever. And I think when you believe in people, it helps set them on a better trail because they hold themselves accountable. People hold themselves accountable to people that believe in them.
Love that.
They don't want to disappoint them. So I want to be known as the guy that believed in people when others didn't.
Ben, if I am right, you've written 4 books now.
Yeah.
And a revision, so maybe 4.5. But The Power of Asking, 23 Crucial Points, Common Sense Selling, version 1 and 2, and Baxter, The First Dog at 59.
And Power of Asking.
And The Power of Asking. So there's 5. Oh,
Yeah.
No, that was the first one I said.
Oh, okay.
Power of Asking.
But it sounds better to say 5.
Yeah, but you have a 5th one in the hopper, don't you? You said?
Yes.
Or 5th and 6th? Or
I have a 5th one that is almost done. That's a revision of The Power of Asking. And then one that I'm real excited about is about confidence, to help people gain more confidence.
And when is that? When can we expect to see
I don't know. I'm procrastinating.
Yeah, I bet you are.
And I hate that about myself. When you know you got to do something and you're not, that's what frustration is.
How long does it take you to write a book?
It just depends how much time I put into
Yeah.
it. Common Sense Selling, I really took my time with because I really wanted to put some great stories in there. Power of Asking didn't take that long. 23 Crucial Points to Guarantee Your Success probably took me 3 weeks because I live it every day. The Baxter book was a lot of pictures, and that was fun. Mm-hmm. I had a pet photographer come and take pictures, and I want to do another one of those someday too. But I want to write stuff that, like people have said, I keep it by my bed or I keep it in my car just to remind myself that I do have the ability. That's all my stuff is if you have the ability, then you have the responsibility to make it happen. Because a lot of us know we can do it, but we don't do it.
Do you think if somebody has a book in mind, but maybe they're not a writer? Like I put a book down, and in the end, it's only like 100 pages.
That's all people want today.
And I feel like I'm missing the meat and potatoes and the stories that are in there, but I just can't find the drive or time to kind of add what I feel like it's missing. Do you call somebody that's a writer to try to help you with it, or do you just kind of like, because this one feels more like a manual. It's all about the power of creating a networking group to help you grow in whatever.
Well, that is kind of a manual. Yeah. You know, I want to tell you what I would do today with ChatGPT. Mm-hmm. First of all, feed your ChatGPT everything you can about yourself. Everything dating back 20 years. And then when you're writing chapters, so first thing I recommend when you're writing a book is start writing your chapters first. What do you want to talk about? And today, people don't want books that are 300 pages long. They want your 100-page book. So don't let that discourage you that you may only have 100 pages. But then I would get on ChatGPT. I'm just telling you how I do it, and you get it done in a month.
No, I like that.
And you get on ChatGPT. The last thing you want to do is not have it be you. That's why I say feed this bad boy everything you can. If anybody could help you, be Colin with that. But anyway, and then put in there what you want your chapter to be about, and basically start writing that chapter. Do the best you can, finish it, feed it to Chat GPT, and tell them what you want it to do to spice it up or whatever it is. It's amazing. Going back with the power of asking, I'm feeding it each chapter right now, and I'm saying, add some more things that I've learned over the last 20 years that I've given you. Mm-hmm. And it's me speaking. It's not like sometimes you get AI that that's not coming from that dude.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's a lot, but I would commit to helping you. I think you've got a message. I think you should do it, but I would be willing to. And what I can do is help you, Ted, is tell you what not to do as well. Is how to do it frugally, because you can spend 15 to 20K writing a book.
Yeah.
I can tell you how to do it for 2,500.
Hey, having a foreword written by a mayor, Mayor Van Deeb might be
with 3 votes.
Yes, there you go. So, get 2 things accomplished there.
Well, actually, you might, based on what we just heard, you might have. You said you have 5,000 contacts in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I do.
So
yeah,
maybe that's 50,000 votes right there.
Well, you never know. I mean, I'm excited to see what the future brings. I got a couple years left before I start laying the foundation, but I am going to try to get more speaking opportunities so people can get to know me, and maybe,
if there's any way that we can help, let us know.
Anybody listening, if you're in a group, a parents group, of any type of a group that just wants a little motivation or want me to create a customized speech for your group, I'll be all over it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Any other things that we've talked about, your businesses, and anything else that you're excited about right now, aside from the big things that we've talked about?
Yes, I last year took 7 months, and I had a studio built in my home, in my basement, and I hired a guy to come over and who's an online course expert, and I created an online masterclass.
Okay.
And it's called realestatemasters.online. And I had 33 modules, and it's every area of being successful in real estate. It's only $99, and people can watch it. It's theirs forever. There's no upselling like most online classes. Buy my books. I don't even have a place to order my books on it. I just want people to make this their go-to place to get better at selling real estate. It's for new people, and it's for people that have been doing it forever that just need to be reminded of what made them successful in the first place. But realestatemasters.online. And like I said, it's only $99. And for those that are struggling and having some financial issues, they can do 3 payments of $40.
Awesome.
So,
yeah. And go to our show notes, and you can get all those links right there for what Van Deeb's talking about.
But thank you for asking me.
Yeah. My last question I have for you before we wrap today is, who mentors the mentor right now?
So I get asked that question, and thank you, Ted. I get my motivation from preachers. And I know a lot of my preacher friends don't care for this guy, and that's okay. They have the right to but it's Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen speaks to me. Every speech he gives, it speaks to me. He's talking to me. So much so I called him up. I don't know if you know who he is.
He's got his own XM
Oh my
radio.
God, he's got his own television station, everything. I called up to their offices, and I said, I've got to meet him, because he's been impactful to me for the last 15 years of how I think. And he's in my cars. I mean, that's what I have on is channel 128, which is Joel Osteen. But I went down there for one day. They said, you're going to have a better chance of visiting with him if you come to a Saturday night service in Houston at Lakewood, which is the old Rockets Stadium, gigantic convention center.
Wow.
He bought the Rocket Stadium, 30-some thousand people fit in there. And he said, they said, you'll have a better chance talking to him if you come on a Saturday night. So I flew in on a Saturday morning. I went on a Saturday night service. They put me in the second row right behind his mother, who's always on television. She's passed since then. Then afterwards, I got to meet him, take a bunch of photos with him. But here's the whole reason why I wanted to go see him. It wasn't, hey, Ted, I got to meet Joel Osteen. I could care less about that. I got to look at him right in his eyes and say, you've changed my life. You have been impactful to me, Joel. I want you to know, a little guy, salesman from Nebraska, what you've done for me. And he was like, you could see him get teared up, like I do when I talk about it. We have to let people know what they've done for us. How do people know they're impactful if we don't tell them? Like the guy that's the electrician at church. I left there that day, not saying, yeah, I'm all that, I make a difference. I left there going, I have a responsibility to do this with everybody I meet. Look at how impactful listening to a dude on the radio, and I flew down to Houston to thank him. We need to do stuff like that all the time. So to answer your question in short form, I get my motivation from preachers because everything they preach about is business, it's life, and it's how to live.
You know who on the radio changed my life at one point? I don't listen to him anymore, but I would. But was Dave Ramsey.
Oh gosh.
I was going through some financial chaos, not making the right decisions, and he just guides you to a point where you can guide yourself, right?
He gives you a track to run on.
And when it got to a point where I could answer every question in his words on this show, I'm like, I'm probably good now.
Yeah.
But if I was to go fly out and say meet somebody, that'd probably be him, because he changed my life, and I just dedicated so much time into that.
You've got to find a way to tell him. People need to know. So you say Dave Ramsey. So The Journey, which is on at 5 p.m. on KCRO, Dave Ramsey's on the show before me.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So they syndicate that. So he's on from 4 to 5, and then I'm on at 5 on Thursdays.
So I'll just say I know Van when I reach out.
Yeah, he won't know me. He'll just, he won't know me.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming in. I'm so excited to see you speak. If you're listening to us now and you missed the opportunity to see Van speak, go to our YouTube channel, Kaasch and Dash, and go to the live tab, and you'll be able to see the whole presentation either at our local RIA group. But man, you've always been there. You're a phone call away. You answer every single text message. I've never heard anybody talk bad about you. You've done so many impactful things for the city. I really do hope you pursue this dream that you mentioned.
It means
today.
a lot to me.
But thanks for being a friend. You've
I'm grateful.
Just stand up guy. But with that, Owen Dashner, we see us out.
On behalf of Aiden Bear and Ted Kaasch, I'm Owen Dashner, and you've been listening to Van Deeb, the future mayor of Omaha, on the Kash and Dash Show.
Sign off.